This light, this one.
Yeah, it's here. Where this one go? Okay. Good morning to you, men and friends. I could see you are eagerly waiting to be part of the program. Yes, it's 11 a.m. right here in Lagos, Nigeria. My name is Benson Adema, your in-house motivational speaker, reaching you live and direct from Lagos. Lagos is a commercial city here in Nigeria, West Africa. This is where we're reaching you live and direct. You are on to our Success Breath Monthly Seminar. Like I promised you and like you have been seeing on our platform, this morning we are engaging a very fantastic person. It's someone you want to listen to. And looking at the complexity we are in the society and the problem of space age, we need people like this to come and give us some strategies, give us some informations, and give us some ideas on how to skate through the moment. So I will be introducing to you this morning the speaker. It's not me who is going to be speaking to you this morning. Before I do that very quickly, I'd like to use this opportunity to appreciate our sponsors. Our sponsors remain the same like you could see on our flyers. Our sponsors remain Pazo Health, Polyem Limited, remain Rodin Health Limited. Rodin Health, like I always said, is a HMO organization. If you need to reach them in any way, you could always call us and we'll give you the link. All you need to reach them is just to type online their name and so on, and you get them, and they will be at your service. And also our last sponsor there is Agbenda Media. Agbenda Media is located somewhere in Ikeja, Lagos, Nigeria. And then, like I always say, Success Bread is not something I do alone. We have a team of young men who will do this together. I believe many of them are watching us live and direct already. Thank you so much for being the team of Success Bread. And then once again, this program is reaching you live and direct from Lagos, live on Facebook, and then we'll be having the link where you could watch it later on the YouTube for those of you who might not be part of it at the moment. So right about now, without taking much time, I'd like to bring to you the speakers for today. It's no other person than a woman who has been into a consulting. She is a mother, she's a teacher, she's a minister in RCCG. And more beyond or before that, she was formerly a chief marketing executive with Zenith Bank Nigerian PLC, and also a marketing manager with Visa Group of Company. And at the moment, she is a HSE Management Consultant with G Square Ove. So this morning, I hope you are putting your hands together. So I bring her to you, who is going to be speaking to you live and direct. Don't go anywhere. You're going to be inspired this morning. Thank you for being there. She's coming right away on the stage. I hope you are putting your hands together as we bring her. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Mr. Benson, for the large ovation. I'm very grateful to be here live this morning. I'd like to encourage you that whatever I'm going to say today is nothing new, but something that you would have known, heard about, thought about, and never did anything with it. So today, I'll just go right to the talk. Basically, we want to talk about what's happening in today's world. I'm sure COVID-19 is not new. The expectations are not new. But we want to look at what we're supposed to do differently, what we're supposed to do exceptionally, what we're supposed to do to build ourselves as a government, as a nation, as an organization, and as a people. So I'd like it to take a little of your time, like the next 30-40 minutes, and let's just roll. Thank you for listening. Once again, my name is Glory Elakhe. The topic we want to look at today is self-reliance in a depressed economy. But really, I want to look at what we can do as a person, as a nation, and as an organization in order to cope with the effects of the lockdown and the issues associated with COVID-19. This talk is a reminder of things we already know, which we either took for granted, ignored, didn't notice, or kept saying without acting on them. I want to, at this juncture, appreciate everyone, every organization, every health worker, every media person that has one way or the other done their own part to ensure that everything works to be able to eliminate, control, and mitigate the effects of COVID-19 in our country, in our workplaces, in our families, and in the world globally. I really appreciate you. Thank you so much for the work done. And at this juncture, I want to stress that COVID-19 is not a scam. Coronavirus is real. I'm sure a lot of people you've heard people say, it doesn't exist. It's this, it's that. It is real. I would not pray for you to experience it, but I've seen a few people and families that have been affected. It's not something you want to experience. So I would just run through the safety measures once again in compliance with what government requires of us at this time. Please keep physical distance, a minimum of 2 feet apart. Please follow the required protocols. Wash your hands with soap, wear a nose mask or a face shield. It's becoming trendy. And just keep all the protocols. And please, very important, hygiene is one of the strongest force to keep your immune system boosted, keep you alive and well. Thank you for keeping it. I'm sure you're going to do that. And I encourage you to continue to tell as many people as you can that we are not here to preach that corona is real or not, but the truth about it is that it has come and it's our new normal. So we need to work our life around it. I like the new slogan with WHO. COVID-19 is not a death sentence. It is a life sentence. Whatever you make out of COVID-19, now and after now, is what matters, and that is what is the purpose of our talk today. So, how is the economy? Are we facing the reality of the depression expected or the recession to come? The truth about it is that we know the pertinent situations that we occur or that is facing us at the face presently. Unemployment, loss of business opportunity, loss of social gatherings, and of course the gains that come with it, reduction in per capita income, reduction in gross domestic products, fall of crude oil, loss in FX, etc. You know them more than I do. Why are we doing this talk? We want to let people know that in this lockdown, there could be things you can do that makes you come out better than you were in the course of the lockdown. Oh, a lot of people are saying, there's so much depression. People are afraid, people are hungry, people are dying. Before COVID-19 and after COVID-19, there was poverty. True or false? People had to pass through lack one way or the other. There was unemployment and every other thing we're experiencing now. The only new thing is that there is a panic and a cause to fear the unexpected. What are you supposed to do? Are you supposed to worry in this lockdown? Get yourself all worked up, depressed? Some people have become rapists. Some people have become beggars. Some people, their blood pressure has increased and hiked because of the fear. But I'm here to tell you that You can boost your personality. It's a good time to look inward and say to yourself, I am not going down, man. It's a good time to look inward and say, what can I do to help myself in this time? You can bring out that giant that was sleeping in you. And how can you go through this? That is what we want to look at today. Very important. The most important thing is that what you do during the lock time determines what becomes of you after the lockdown. So if you are sleeping in your house, watching televisions, playing around, gossiping around, feeling carrying a frowning face, feeling very remorse. I mean, when people are coming out, expanded, enlarged, you would be looking for your feet to stand. And so I'm here this morning to encourage you that we need to start looking inward. What can I do now that will build a better me after this lockdown? What am I doing now that will take me to where I am supposed to be, or better than I was before the lockdown? I like to say that globally there are negative effects of COVID-19 in the economy, in gross domestic products, in food production, in all of the walks of life you can think of. But I want to shock you. There's equally improvements and areas that we can leverage on. And that is the cross of what we are discussing today. So largely, I want to look at what we can do as a government. I like it and I really want to appreciate Nigeria, because what Nigeria is doing, we might not be, I'm sure you say, we are not doing much. But I can assure you that the government is doing the bit they can, although they can do better. Like I said, there are opportunities to leverage on during this lockdown. And to the government, I will say, what are the opportunities the government can leverage on? This lockdown has exposed the weakness of our medical facility. We have seen that our healthcare is close to zero. If it was a situation where we could export, a lot of us would have traveled to the Indias of this world, to China, to everywhere, to seek medical attention. But unfortunately, everybody's on his own now. So we are here, faced with the dilapidated healthcare system we have. I would like our government to look inward and save lives by improving the healthcare system of the country. All the innovations, all the isolation centers we are building today, if we had built them years before today, the panic would have been less dangerous than we have now. So I will encourage the government, look inward into the healthcare system, reduce medical tourism. Let people not carry our money to India for a kidney dialysis. Let somebody be able to travel to Enugu and do a heart transplant. It will cost less. It will reduce medical tourism. It will generate income for the country. Remember, a life you save today could be yours tomorrow. Apart from the healthcare sector, the government can look into diversifying for oil. I'm sure government in, government out, we've been talking about doing something else apart from oil. As we can see the nosedive in the oil sector, because crude fell almost to zero. Therefore, I will plead with our government, look at other sectors. The time to look at other sectors is now. We can delve into agriculture. I can remember the good old days When they were teaching us import and export in secondary school, they would say Nigeria is part of the cash crop producing countries. We had cocoa, we had groundnut pyramid in Kano, we had oil palm in the east. Today, where are they? The farmers have run to the cities to collect white collar jobs, and the entire nation is suffering food insecurity. And with this lockdown, you know, most farmers have not gone to the farm. There has been no movement, so I'm even thinking mechanized farming is even a little more difficult. The government needs to quickly look at food security and boost agriculture. Encourage farmers to farm, mechanized farming I mean, so that we would be able to feed ourselves as a country and stop importing everything. I want to appreciate the government for what they are doing currently in the rice importation. You saw the effect of the banning of rice in our country. I'm not saying we have gotten it right, but I'm saying it's an opportunity we can leverage on and move forward. The government should equally look at tourism as a tool for self-reliance in a depressed economy. How do I mean? During summer, ask the people in logistics, I mean in foreign logistics, I mean, 75% of our company men and women are traveling abroad for summer. They want to take their children to see Disney World, to see beautiful places. These places exist in Nigeria. Have we built a Wudukatu Ranch? Have we looked at Yankari Game Reserve? Have we even looked at Wildlife Park here in Jos? What's happening to Bauchi? What's happening to our beautiful natural resources God has given us? The government can invest in it. It will keep our finances home and import people to come spend money here. A good example is Dubai. Just a city, but the whole world is drifting to it, and the country is just cruising away, generating foreign currency from tourism. Nigeria is beautiful. We have mountains, we have valleys, we have rivers, we have beautiful places we can walk around. I need the government to look at this as a tool for self-reliance. Let's leave it at that for the government. What of organizations? Some organizations have been badly affected by this lockdown. They include the logistics companies. Of course, the airspace is shut down. And you can imagine if an organization is running on just air travel. I don't want to start mentioning names. They are totally shut down and there is no income whatsoever. What of food suppliers? I mean food vendors like canteens, restaurants and the likes. No income whatsoever. What of the textile industry? There are no parties anymore. You know, Nigerians like parties. There are no parties anymore. No more Ashoebi. All the people that have heaped clothes for weddings, burials, events are not getting any form of income. So what happens to them? I need us to look at what will these organizations do exceptionally this time to survive this lockdown and the effect of COVID-19 afterwards. But most importantly, I would like us to look at personal self-reliance, what me and you can do. What can we do differently? And I'd like to dwell on that quickly before we start looking at rounding up. Personal self-reliance in a post-COVID-19 situation. We are still in the lockdown, but what can you do? One, you can build self. You can build self. Like I said initially, what you did or what you're doing in this lockdown time determines what becomes of you after the lockdown. Did you waste your time sleeping? Or are you wasting your time sleeping currently? Are you brooding on situations you cannot change? Please stop wasting your time. Reduce that work hour and begin to build yourself. Look inward. Find your passion. A lot of us are paid employers, but we have our own personal passion. What you like to do. For instance, I like to talk. So I make money out of talking. Do you like to read a book? Then read a book and go into strategy or research or consulting. Do you have passion for fashion? Why don't you look for something you like to do? Oh, build yourself in this time. Leverage on the opportunity of time. It might not occur again in a lifetime that everywhere is shut down and you are locked down. Find something to do that keeps you going. I bet you this time is a time of discovery. Some parents will discover their children can dance. Some people can discover they can sing. Some people can discover they can draw. What can you find new that you didn't discover before? It's a time to build it. Build it, work on it, present it to the world, and let's see how we can generate income from it. Let it solve a problem. Let it answer to a need. And then we're beginning to see that you can build self-reliance from that same thing you thought was not useful to you. You can get a side hustle. I always tell people, you don't need to lose a job to get a side hustle. And a note of warning, you don't need to leave the job and start a business. You can start a side hustle, maybe a small side hustle. And then when the hustle becomes something that makes you very busy, you can think of, okay, let me let go the job. But you can do those things as additional source of income. The main strength and stay of an individual that is going to stand strong after this shutdown is being able to generate extra income, additional income. I met somebody that said he was doing a government job, but during the lockdown there was nothing available, and she began to sell recharge card. She was selling recharge card, and it looked as if it was a small business, but I'm telling you today she has different boys at different locations selling recharge card. It started as a side hustle. Today she's MD CEO. Because a lot of people didn't want to go out. Some people didn't have network. Some people didn't even have funds in their account to transfer and buy recharge card. And so she started selling hard copy. She doesn't need to meet you. You just send her a text message. I need Glow, or I need MTN, or I need Airtel, or I need HSE. And she just texts it to you or credits you. She's making her cool money. What side hustle do you want to do? Some people started doing transfer option for people, and money started coming in. Some people started teaching personal coaching of children online. Are you a teacher? You're just sitting down at home and saying, oh, school has closed, I can't do anything. These things I'm mentioning are just a few of what people did during this lockdown, and I think you should look at them, think of what you can take out of it, and begin to do it. It's a veritable tool for self-reliance in this time. So can you teach? You can teach online, do a video of yourself, send it to parents. The moment a few parents can buy into it, you begin to have patronage. Oh, there are young ladies sitting down at home. You can cook. And you sat down at home in the lockdown watching films. You are wasting your resources. I discovered that because the markets were closed, people were looking for vendors that will cook, package, and deliver. And they were making cool cash. We're talking about personal self-reliance in a depressed economy that we're expecting after the COVID-19 lockdown. What of online deliveries? Almost all the supermarkets, as I speak, are doing shopping online. So you sit down in your house, send them your lists, they deliver it. It was looking as if it was not possible in Nigeria at the time. But today, like I always say, the market square is getting closer to closing. Very soon, my 12 will be online, if it is not there already. People are beginning to bring resources to our doorsteps. So what are you doing? How are you leveraging on that? Can you join the e-commerce trend? That's what is trending now. A lot of us buy big phones. So you have a large phone you bought with plenty money, and all you do is snap pictures. and chat away. Those chats can generate money. Those chats can be a tool of request for your services you can render. So I would advise you, please look inward. How can you key into e-commerce? Online shopping is there. Self-services is there. Oh, I spoke to a few people that said they used to be doing dry cleaning. Now offices are shut down and people are no more dry cleaning. And because of that, they are out of business. And I said, no, you don't need to be out of business. Chat to a few people and tell them, I can wash, I can dry clean, I can deliver to you at a cost lower than what you were collecting. You'll be amazed at the people that are willing to do, especially family and friends. Because in this lockdown, people were very skeptical of who comes to their house and who doesn't come. But if family and friends pay you, you can be shocked at your net worth because of your network. So please, check your network and begin to make money out of it. All those group chats you belong to, check what people are doing. I view status most of the time. Why do I do that? I want to see what you're doing. Somebody just wakes up and say, oh, fresh pancakes. And another person says, oh, fresh cakes. So are people doing parties? Yes, they might not be doing parties. But birthdays have come and gone. And a few people have bought cake and shared with their families. I take example of the last Children's Day. Most vendors were baking cake and sending it to children. Our children were at home. Some of them became bakers themselves. And after that, you're saying, oh, I baked this cake, I did it well. Somebody buys into it. I've talked about private teaching. I've talked about food. Some of us are good cooks and they are just sitting at home, absolutely doing nothing. I have equally seen do it yourself on YouTube. Everyone now wants to do one thing or the other themselves. A good example is the nose masks. Businesses have boomed through do it yourself. Most of us now do hand sanitizers ourselves. Most tailors have become fashion designers of nose masks. The one that is even most important is I've seen people branding, putting logos to the nose mask itself. And they've sold it to organizations, they sold it to governments. Lagos State government was wow. They did a proper nose mask labeled government and sent it out. I was really impressed. A lot of organizations have done the same thing. That is a private hustle you can do for yourself. That is what you can add to yourself as a source of income. I've equally noticed that the demand for things like phones, laptops, tabs increased during the course of this lockdown. What did you do to it? I tried to buy a phone one of those days in Computer Village. It was as if the whole world was on standstill because, they were not opening every day, so the demand increased. A charger that was 1,000 is now 4,000. So if I want to do a side hustle with that, I just buy enough and tell people I have chargers for sale. When you want to do status, just say chargers for sale on your status, and people begin to shop. You can be amazed at the number of people that needed chargers but couldn't go to Computer Village and would just buy from you. You've made money. Remember what we're talking about it, self-reliance in this lockdown situation. I might not be able to mention everything here, but I just want to put light to a few things, highlight them so that you can look inward, look at the things you can do for yourself. A lot of people, because there is demand for washing soap, all the people that used to do local soap, they now started parceling it, and I've seen it that people are buying it. It's in shelves of supermarkets, it's in people's houses, different brands, different names. Soap. We had people doing soap before, but it didn't seem as if it was a lucrative business up until now. So that is an initiative that is going to grow in the right direction during this lockdown. The fashion world is not left behind. Yes, you're not going to events, but I'm seeing a whole lot of different form of fashion designing online. Like I said, e-commerce is the way to go. I might not be able to mention other things. I will encourage you to look inward. Look for a few things you can do. What do you like doing? Do you like singing? Do you like dancing? Do you like driving? Do you like reading? Do you like writing a poet? Do you like a poem? Do you like acting? Just anything you think you can do. Look around, turn it to a reality and make it a side hustle this time. It can start small. You don't need to go and break the bank for it. It can start small, but it will go a long, long way to making this lockdown time a time you would enjoy. I quickly want to just round up. Let me just say a few things as I round up. There are some industries that are badly affected by this lockdown. But I equally want to tell you some industries will thrive, whether you like it or not. And I mentioned a few here. The ICT world. Online activities had skyrocketed. In fact, a London-based research institute made a survey and said the income generated and the flow of activity on WhatsApp and Facebook increased well above 50% daily. So you can imagine everybody's on WhatsApp, everybody's on Facebook, everybody's WeChatting, everybody's on Instagram, everybody's just online. Money is entering somebody's pockets as you swipe the net, as you do those pictures, as you do those online things. Money is entering somebody's pockets, whether you like it or not. So if you are looking at investing, investing in any form or maybe shares or any industry, think about these industries that are striving at this time. The ICT will strive. Healthcare, of course, will strive because the demand for healthcare is higher than it was. Some out of panic, some out of fear. Nigerians, for all you know, a lot of us were running around looking for vitamin C. All of us were looking for chloroquine and all of that. So the demand skyrocketed and they had a boom. Telecommunication. I can assure you that the calls within the last 6 months, you can ask MTN and the likes. I'm sure they would have generated double what was their budget for the year already. Because in the course of the fear and the panic, a whole lot of people were calling, checking out on people and all of that, and so they generated income. What are video calls? Then Zoom. I checked on the founder of Zoom, Eric Yuan. Research shows that his worth has increased by $4 billion in 3 months between January and March in the course of COVID-19. One man sat down and said, I can speak to you like I'm speaking to you now online, and he founded it. We have men and women that are ICT gurus in Nigeria and in the whole world sitting in their houses. What can you think of? Somebody created Facebook. Somebody brought all of this to life. I'm sure more beautiful opportunities are still untapped. So are you an ICT guru just sitting down, knowing what to do but not putting it to practice? Like I said in the beginning of this talk, there are things we know and refuse to act on. What can you do differently? This is the founder of Zoom. He didn't expect this boom, and so he's quickly looking at what else he can do. So are you just sitting down saying I'm an ICT guru? Please do something. Are you a healthcare person? We are looking for vaccines. Go to work, research, do something. My research also shows that online gaming earns 70% more profits. People are playing games online. People are doing betting. Football is now using online gaming. That's what they were showing us during the COVID-19. They were playing like a computer game football live against, and people were using it to bet. money is entering somebody's pockets. So all we're talking about is self-improvements. What can I do differently in this lockdown time? What can you do in this lockdown time? Have you done an online course? A lot of them are free this time. Just do one. And some people have not even been able to, they've not been able to identify what they can do. Just swap the nets, get to see what interests you, and read up. I've seen plenty makeup classes, how to tie gele. All of those things are hobbies you can build on. And the moment we are out of the lockdown, you are launching into your own business. There is the new normal. It is the rule of do it yourself. We don't need to rely on a government to do it for us. We have relied on them this long, and this is the best we have gotten. You don't need to blame your parents for not doing it for you. How much can they ever do? You don't need to blame your organization. Even those organizations right now are battling for capacity to stand. Most organizations are working remotely now. Some can't even afford salary. So we are seeing slashes here and there. It is operation, I can do it myself. That is our code for self-reliance in the current situation we find ourselves. The strategy is, the richest people in the world, they don't just sit down and look. They build net worth and allow people to network with their net worth. What are you building? If you sit down there and say nothing is happening, you refuse to learn, you refuse to move, nothing moves. The moment you begin to move, things begin to move around you. It's not a time for self-pity. It's not a time for panic. It's not a time to waste your life. So don't contemplate suicide. If you feel you are depressed, people are more depressed than you. I saw in Facebook that a lady said she died and she was going to die, and if she died, nobody should do autopsy. That it's yam and palm oil that she was eating during the lockdown that killed her. And I said, so sad. Some people don't even have yam and palm oil, yet they are living and doing great things. If you are hearing me today, what I've just come to tell you is that things are still moving on. In fact, things are better than they were. There are people that will still eat food. There are people that will still buy soap. There are people that there are essentials of life that people will still need. Life will still go on. Nobody expected this pandemic, but it has come. What can you do with it? Look at the big picture. Look at the opportunities. I have seen opportunities, man. There are big and mega opportunities in this lockdown. It tailors my thought to what people need now. So if I have a friend that can do soap, I say do soap, because the demand for soap will be on and going. Do hand sanitizers, people will continue to buy it. Sew nose masks, people will continue to wear it. Just anything you can do. I saw a beautiful face shield with something like a goggle inside. That is somebody's initiative. And you are sitting down and saying you can't do anything. No, come on. Wake up. Think of something. Please, it's time to think outside the box. Think outside the normal. We have a new normal. Life has to be outside the ordinary. I bet you, if you continue to live the way you were before, you will live in the past, and we would have moved to the future. The future is now. It starts from you. It starts from me. Wake up the giant in you. Look at what you can do better and bring out the best that is yet to come. The economy might be depressed. We are not depressed. We are better than we were before. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for listening. I'd like to use this opportunity to applaud the conveners of this program. I appreciate you so much, Mr. Benson Adima. You're doing a good job, and your team. We need young men like you to encourage the young ones and to take us to the future we are expecting. I equally want to encourage you to buy our book, Awaken the Champion in You. It's a veritable tool for self-reliance in a time like this. There's something inside of you that you need to unlock. If you read this book, you identify it. So come along with us as you partner with us in buying this book, not just buying, please, reading this book and putting it to action. Until I come your way next time, remain you and bring out the best in you. It is not over until you win. Thank you so much. Bye for now.
Please, don't just go yet. Stay there. Don't go. Yes. While the program was going on, someone sent in a question. And that question has been the question that is running in your mind. So, I want to ask her this question, just two. And then she will answer this question, and then you get something. Someone said, I'm hungry. I don't even have money to buy food to eat. If I want to start a business, no matter how small the business is, I need some money at least, no matter how small, to start the business. How can we raise capital now? Now that even the organizations are not able to pay their staff. Rich men are looking for how to safeguard their wealth. Even families are no longer there for family anymore. Where can we raise capital now? Even microfinance that we run to, many of them today are afraid to give out money to people. So how can we raise capital to start one or two things that we want to do now or after the pandemic? Question number 2. There is something called paramedic. Paramedic would be a good industry at the moment. Few days ago, I was feeling somehow and I wanted to do a medical test. Why must I have to leave my house before I can get a medical test done? Can people in the medical industry do some kind of mobile medical services or paramedic where they attend to your medical issue before you get to the main hospital when the case gets critical? Who are the people in this industry? How can they help us? Those are the two questions I want her to attend to. Just stay there in a moment. She is right back.
Okay, thank you once again. Thank you for those questions. Please keep the questions coming. If you cannot answer all of them in this series, we'll continue to answer them as the time goes and as we continue to have our monthly seminars. Like I said before, nobody ever agrees to have any money. So everybody just says, how can I save when the small money I have is not enough? That means we're not even saving at all. I want to give you one rule before I answer this question. And the rule is, for every income I work for, I pay self first. It's a rule. So how much are you paying yourself for going to that job every day? If you are wasting your money, and when I mean wasting, I mean when you are buying excessive things, like for instance, some people just work and all they spend their money on is clothes. You're not saving for the rainy day. Now the rainy day has come. In fact, the rain is already falling as COVID-19. And you begin to look for savings when you didn't save. It's not too late in case you've not been saving. You can begin to save now. Nothing is small. If you save 1,000 naira a day, in a year you would have had 365,000, which is enough to start a small or medium enterprise. If you have saved 500 naira that you were using to buy recharge card to just chat for nothing, I mean, every day, you would have done close to at least 150 something thousand in a year. Let's assume you were not even getting that much and you were saving 100 naira a day. You will still have something to start a business, no matter how small. But let's assume, oh, I don't have, I'm zero, all zero. Two things can happen. One, bring out your business plan. What do you want to do? And begin to present it to people. Like I said, your first network is your family and friends. Some of us belong to churches that have 100 church members. That's your strongest market strength. So I know how to braid hair. Let me give you an example. I don't need to break the bank to braid hair, to open a salon. If I can't afford a salon, what I will do is I will make somebody's hair, put it on my status and say, I made this hair myself. I can do it at an affordable price. I could also do home service. Send it to 10 people in your phone now and see how many people will call you and ask for that opportunity. That is service. Every business you want to do should render service. When you render service, service will generate income. The second thing is solve a problem. When you solve a problem, that solution will be money in your hand. So don't want to go and start big. There are smaller things you can begin to do. However, if you have started small before now and you want to expand, there are ways you can go about it. The Bank of Industry is doing a very good job on small, medium enterprises now. I don't know if you know how to do a business plan. Do a business plan, project it and push it through. Let business consultants or family and friends that you know are into one business or the other mentor you on how to go about it, present it. Also, there are organizations that are funding business now. Let me shock you. People have money and are looking for where to invest it. They just need to see the right investments. I attended an interview some years ago, and the final stage of the interview, I met with the MD, and he said to me, if I give you this million, he called an amount, as if I give you this amount of money and tell you to invest in my business, what will you do with it? I mean, I didn't see that question coming, so I was like, wow. But I put one and one together and did a semi-business plan and presented to it. At the end of the day, the MD said, you are actually a business partner and not a staff. I can't employ you as a worker. If I have to give you an opportunity, you would be a business colleague. I don't want to tell you the rest of the story. So you can start small, you can render services, you can solve problems, you can use family and friends, build on your network, and leverage on Bank of the Industry, which I'm sure they are doing a good job on SMEs now. Paramedicals. Medical and healthcare is actually online real time now. I'm sure the medical, like I said, they are eating fats in this time. I don't want to start mentioning names so that I will not be caught. But a lot of healthcare is online real time now. WHO has equally announced that there is going to be, I think 1 or 2 states have done the mobile test kit for coronavirus in a van. Then some of the telecommunication companies were running medical care on the move. I've seen an advert on something like the advert, I don't want to mention any brand name now. There's a brand that is doing a salon in a bus in Lagos. So if you want to use their hair care, you want to buy their hair care, you can actually use it. You go into the van. The back of the van is a salon. You take care of your hair, do your whatever you do your makeup, pay them and go. So they drive to your house and you do it. It's actually real life in the healthcare industry. It might not be very large now, but I think it's a way to go. Let me equally tell you, because I have some form of medical background, there are controls when it comes to medical science going online. Because if a doctor makes a prescription, for instance, without seeing a patient live, and anything goes wrong, he'll be held liable. So medical practice will always say, oh, come, let me see you. But there are steps you would have taken. Let's assume you do the call, you do your complaint, the doctor asks you a few questions, you answer, he tells you to do a few checks, you do it. So by the time you are walking into the hospital, you have cut off the time of all those, they check, they do this, they do that, you would have done all of that. So you just see the time lapse between the time of all of these check-ins would have reduced. You see the doctor and you're out in GV. Secondly, there are some things that the doctor will just tell you, okay, just do this and do that, and you are fine. You don't need to go. That is the new normal. That's part of healthcare in e-commerce, where if in the next 6 months hospital doors are shut, we can still have healthcare online real time. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you, ma'am. And thank you, our viewers. Thank you for being there. It has been a long one, just 50 minutes. Thank you so much for being there. It has been Success Bread, a monthly seminar reaching you live and direct from Lagos, the capital, the commercial city here in Nigeria, West Africa. We thank you so much once again for being there and for being part of this program. The next edition comes up on the 1st of August, 11 a.m. We're going to bring in another powerful person to also speak to you live and direct here. But before then, I will be engaging you in 1 or 2 talk along the line. Please help us to share to your friends who you think this broadcast will be of beneficial to them. Please, thank you so much. Once again, to bring to you, we don't just do this on our own strength. We have organizations that are committed to put 1 or 2 naira, their resources and time into making this happen. We have number 1, we have Pazo Health and Beauty, located somewhere in Ikeja. And then we also have a Folium System Limited, somewhere in Ikeja. We also have Agbenda Media, located somewhere in Ikeja. Agbenda Media is into indoor and outdoor advertising. I hope you want to patronize them. And then we also have Rodin Health. Rodin Health is into HMO. Their office is located somewhere in Yaba. And then I believe if you go online, just ask on Google, you locate any of these people. Thank you so much to our Success Bread team. And for today, our greatest thank you go to our speaker. She's a wonderful woman. I told you, it's someone you want to listen to over and over again. Thank you so much, ma, for availing us this opportunity to speak to our audience on 1 or 2 things. And if you have any question you want to ask her again and you are not able to present it at this moment, please DM us. We'll send your question to her and she will be happy to attend to your question and we will get back to you. Don't forget, we are like a link between you and where you want to go. That is what Success Bread is into. Until we get African and Nigerian to believe that they are the best in the world, we will not stop, or else we will die on microphone. Once again, thank you. It's been Benson Adema reaching you live and direct from Lagos, Nigeria. Thank you.